Coquitlam-Millardville.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Last Wednesday, the Maple Ridge Pitt Meadows School Board passed a budget that will eliminate regular school bus services in that community. This is a result of this government's $54 million in school board cuts. Because of these cuts, roughly 370 Maple Ridge families are left to make other transportation arrangements for their children. Some families could be forced to move, Madam Speaker, just to accommodate for their children's transportation needs. So to the Minister of Education, why are families paying more for everything from this government and getting less?
Minister of Education.
Well, Madam Speaker, in response to the member opposite, I think she's well aware of the fact that it was school boards that came to the provincial government based on our funding formulas and said that they wanted the flexibility to make local decisions. And that is why the funding formula was changed. And, Madam Speaker, across this province,
Members.
And Madam Speaker, across this province, we have a technical review committee that works with school districts. We have a student location factor that looks at a number of different factors, including transportation, Madam Speaker. And this government continues to work with the boards to give them the opportunity to make those decisions. But, Madam Speaker, what the member doesn't talk about is that since 2008, 2009, this government has invested $63 million in capital for buses across the province.
Coquitlam-Millardville on a supplemental.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Well, school boards from around the province also came to the minister saying, enough with the cuts. We can't do it. School districts are being forced to cut $54 million from their budgets, Madam Speaker. The reality is that the low-hanging fruit that the Premier thinks is just ripe for the picking is resulting in basic services like transportation cuts across certainly Maple Ridge. The Maple Ridge Pitt Meadows School Board has had to address a shortfall of $1.68 million in its operating budget of $130 million. BC families are just having to pay more and getting less. So to the Minister of Education, why are you forcing families to spend more money in order to get less service in their communities?
Minister of Education.
Madam Speaker, I think the members opposite are very clear on one fact, and that is that this government has a fiscal policy that has resulted in three balanced budgets that save taxpayers of this province hundreds of millions of dollars, Madam Speaker, because our credit rating is protected. And we've heard it from the members opposite so many times, Madam Speaker. Oh, you can't do this. Tax more, spend more, don't worry about the future. Madam Speaker, we are committed to ensuring, as we've done in healthcare, as we've done in post-secondary education, that sometimes the hard decisions have to be made, but at the end, it is the taxpayers of British Columbia that benefit from wise fiscal management, Madam Speaker.
Victoria Swan Lake.
Madam Speaker, we've got families in congested suburbs of Metro Vancouver who are going to face the elimination of their bus service. We've got families in northern British Columbia and the Fraser Valley who face huge fees if they want to try and hang on to their bus service. In Abbotsford, families are going to be forced to pay up to $300 per student or $500 per family starting next year. In Chilliwack, families are going to have to start paying $500 per student or $700 per family starting next year. In Peace River, $100 rising to $500 in 2016, just so their children can get to school. So my question is to the Minister of Education, does he finally understand that it is his government's $54 million cut, as well as the downloading of tens of millions of dollars of unfunded cost pressures onto school boards, that is now putting the pressure onto families and kids who struggle with huge bills that they can't afford to pay, that are going to have to pay out of pocket just to get to their schools starting next year?
Minister of Education.
Well, Madam Speaker, I have said previously, when you look at the budget for education in this province, since 2001 it has increased $1.2 billion, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, that's a 31% increase in the budget for education. In addition, Madam Speaker, enrollment in school districts has gone down by 75,000 students. But Madam Speaker, we are clear. We are investing in the future. We will continue to look where priorities should be, and that is in the classroom, to ensure that efficiencies that we're asking for are reinvested in education. We are committed to doing that, Madam Speaker, and our track record is that it delivers the results that parents and teachers and taxpayers want.
Victoria Swan Lake on a supplemental.
Well, Madam Speaker, the minister clearly doesn't get it. What he calls efficiencies is what ordinary families are going to call hundreds of dollars of coming out of their pockets every year just so their kids can go to school. Ordinary families in this province are already stretched to the breaking point trying to make ends meet. We have high housing costs in this jurisdiction. We have higher hydro rates thanks to this government, MSP increases, food, clothing for their kids, school fees every year, school supplies that families have to buy, sports equipment and team sales and fees. Now they face $500, $700, whatever it may be, more out of their pockets just so their kids can get to school. To be clear, Madam Speaker, school boards don't want to do this. They don't want to eliminate bus service. They don't want to gouge families for hundreds of dollars. They worry about this. The question is for the minister, does he really believe, as the Premier has said, that the transportation needs of our kids are somehow low-hanging fruit in a school district's budget? And can he really live with the fact that kids starting next year who can't afford these fees are going to be stranded and unable to get to the schools where they need to learn?
Minister of Education.
Well, Madam Speaker, I clearly recognize finding efficiencies is not always easy. And I understand, Madam Speaker, that there are districts that are looking at their budgets. But let me make it clear to the member opposite, he's picking numbers out of the air. I'm aware of one district that is looking at instituting a fee for busing, and Madam Speaker, it works out to 50 cents a day per trip for those students. And Madam Speaker, I'm also very aware with the student location factor, districts are being funded for those families that cannot afford those increases. They have the ability to offset those costs. And Madam Speaker, I know they will be doing that. And the members opposite can accuse us of preventing children from getting to school. That is absolutely not correct, Madam Speaker.